welcome everybody. Welcome to Formula for Average. Austrian Grand Prix is finished, done and dusted, and it was, let's say, a great pure racing event. So, without further ado, let's discuss that. And of course, this time, let's start with qualifying, because I believe that there were a couple of, well, not just I believe, but there were a couple of interesting things that might need to be discussed. And here's the table. Here's how it looks like, of course. So George Russell took the pole, and how he took the pole, we will discuss that. Leclerc and Hamilton, respectively, second and third. Kimi Antonelli fourth, and I believe that Kimi would have been on the front row if it wasn't for the Verstappen accident. And yes, talking about Verstappen, he was P5, but also he was on a good lap when he suffered his crash. But yeah, let's discuss that a little bit later. And then both McLarens and respectively, let's say, ending the first 10 positions was Racing Bulls. And actually Racing Bulls, I will mention them, I believe, also in the race review, but they looked very decent this weekend. They were probably, let's say, the fifth best team, no doubt about that. First four teams also, yeah, no doubt about them. I think what was interesting to see that Red Bull had a decent pace, actually, so that was interesting. But yeah, if we talk about qualifying, there I want to take a look at that controversy. So basically, when Verstappen crashed, and then Leclerc and Hamilton had already finished, or was just finishing their laps, so everything was good there. And then Antonelli and Russell came after them, and then also Max crashed, and then what happened? So the controversy here is that what happened with those yellow flags, and two things here. So first thing about double yellow or normal yellow or single yellow. What it means, so double yellow basically means that drivers have to reduce the speed significantly and basically be ready to stop. Single yellow is just that they have to, let's say, be cautious, and being cautious means that they have to lift. They cannot go basically full speed at that moment, which Russell did. And Kimi Antonelli aborted his lap. That's why he finished the P4, or qualified P4. And the question is, should there have been double yellows? In my opinion, yes. They came only later, as I understood, like 22 seconds. I think I read the number 22 seconds after the crash. Why so late? Let's say the stewards will have something to review. But I think that there should have been double yellows all the way. Would that have changed the race? Not so sure, because then we would have been Charles would have been P1, Hamilton P2. But I believe that the outcome of the race still, the Ferraris, they didn't have the pace in the race. So I think in that sense, Mercedes would still have taken P1. But judgment from the stewards. Will there be some reviews of procedures after this? In my opinion, yes, because also Verstappen said that it should have been, let's say, a double yellow, but yeah, well, it was single yellow, and Russell lifted, and how he lifted, actually we can take a look at that. So here we have the telemetry from Russell, and I have selected lap 16, so his previous run, and his last qualifying run, lap 19. And this is the controversy that was talked about, and the was Russell lifting or wasn't he lifting, and he was clearly lifting, and this is what the stewards also seemed deemed right for him. So here we take a look at this turn 9 where Max crashed out, and if we zoom in, we can clearly see that here before approaching this turn 9 where there was this yellow flag, then we can clearly see that he lifted. So here approaching turn 9, you see that the throttle application from 100 comes to 0, so he lifts here, and then only after this time when he's lifting, then only later he applies the brakes 100%. So here brake application comes up. So basically he approaches turn 9, then he sees the yellows, he lifts, he's lifting here, no throttle application, and then only brakes, hitting the brakes before the turn 9. So clearly he was right, he did lift, and that's why also stewards didn't gave any penalties, because according to the rules, single yellow, he needs to lift, and he did that. So yeah, he was in the rules. If this would have been a situation with double yellows, then this would not have been enough, but with the single yellow, this was enough. So he was within the rules, so that's correct. But while we are on the telemetry page, I will also select Leclerc's qualifying lap just for comparison. I will only leave the last lap from Russell. So Russell against Leclerc, and here's the clear situation where we can see, in my opinion, the deficiency that Ferrari power unit has compared to Mercedes power unit. So if we zoom in here in the straight between 3 and 4, we can clearly see how there's let's say a lack of power for Ferrari. So basically here top speeds here hitting 324 for Russell and 308 for Leclerc. So 18, is it? No, 16. What is it? I can't do math now. Delta kilometers between these two. So quite a huge difference in the speed at the straight before the braking. So this is where you also see from delta time here that this is where Leclerc loses quite a bit. Actually, he's ahead in the hairpin, almost 4/10 ahead of Russell, but then in the straight he loses out, and then he's 1500ths behind Russell already by the end of the straight here. And looking at the other places here, okay, this is the location where Russell lifted, so his speed decreases, but we can see that also here in the straight he has more speed, straight line speed. So this is where Mercedes power unit is more powerful than Ferrari, and this is what the Ferrari has to improve in order to get more straight line speed. And also here at the end of the lap, we also see that coming out of this turn 10, then also clearly Russell is able to accelerate faster actually than Leclerc. So again, I think this highlights quite well that from power unit point of view, Ferrari is currently behind and they need to improve. And now coming to race results. So this was the end classification. So yeah, Russell, Verstappen, Antonelli, Piastri, Hamilton, Hadjar, Norris, Leclerc, Lawson, and Lindblad. This was our top 10. And yeah, what is striking, and I guess this was the big talking point or the main action, that Verstappen was he had quite a good pace in the car towards the end of the race. Lighter car, better tire degradation, I guess, so, or better meaning less tire degradation. And yeah, he was catching actually Russell. At the same time, also Antonelli was catching Verstappen, so it came very close for those three to actually have a on-track fight. Unfortunately, we didn't see that. It was yeah, we were robbed. So a couple of more laps, and then we would have a on-track action between those three. But it's striking that all three top three drivers finished after 71 laps. They finished within 2 seconds between all three of them. So in that sense, really close racing, and it was interesting to see. And then of course Piastri was 20 more seconds down, and then Hamilton. And yeah, as I mentioned with Ferrari, it was surprising to see that they didn't have pace. Actually, I coming into this weekend, I believed, and I think also they also believed that they will have a better pace. I thought that by what they showed in Barcelona before, I thought that they will basically destroy the competition, which was not the case. And Ferrari, and they also brought some updates and upgrades here for the car, but they were not competitive. They were in the par of basically McLaren, but that's it. They could not fight with Mercedes or Verstappen in this weekend. And if after Barcelona it looked like that Ferrari is ready to take the fight for the championship, then here no, it didn't look like that. So we'll see. Next week is of course Silverstone. We'll see what will happen next, but I believe that Mercedes will also be very powerful and very good at Silverstone. But nevertheless, we'll see. The weather is always a factor in Silverstone, so we never know. But yeah, Hamilton could not keep up with the pace of Russell. First couple of laps, it seemed that he might, but then he just started to drop back. Then early pits and tried to do something with the strategy, which again, a bold move from Mercedes, from Ferrari in that sense, trying to do something with the strategy, but it just wasn't there. Whatever they did, yeah, they were in the back foot this weekend, so nothing much they could do about it. And if they want to take the fight to Mercedes, then they have to find pace, because yeah, this wasn't a good weekend for them. And so yeah, on comparison, as I said, I need to highlight also Racing Bulls. Yes, they were more than one lap down, but they were best of the rest, because the first four teams, they are clear who they are, but then the rest of the best, Racing Bulls and Audi still, yeah, not quite there, and not able to fight for the points. If the top 8, as it was this time, they all finished and no technical issues or no DNFs there, then yeah, Racing Bulls are there to grab the last points, and then the rest, no chance at the moment. But what was surprising, I think Alpine, unfortunately, the same as Ferrari, they did not show pace in this race. They dropped back for whatever reason, and yeah, they were nowhere actually. So yeah, I don't know what happened with Alpine, because previously they seemed to have a great pace, not in this track. And the rest, well, pretty much as expected. Unfortunate for for Cadillac. They had to retire both of the cars. Bottas had to retire very early in the race. Was it lap second, whatever, something with the fire on the brakes. But yeah, unfortunately, Cadillac cannot score any points, and they have to improve in order to be able to score some points. It's sad to see also Williams. Unfortunately, their misfortunes also continues. Sainz had to retire due to, I believe it was electrical issue, but if I remember correctly. But also Albon, yeah, he could not fight properly, and he was lapped by 2 laps, and the same as Ocon, and yeah, only Alonso was even 3 laps down. But it's sad to see the Williams situation. I think after Aston Martin, the Williams is the second sad story of the season. So yeah, I think that's it for the race. Of course, one more thing to mention is that the on-track action between Hamilton and Verstappen, when they were fighting, it was great to see. Yeah, Verstappen was complaining a little bit, but I think there was nothing to complain about much. And also stewards didn't see that way. So I think it was great to see those two, Hamilton versus Verstappen. There's always great to see them fighting on track and bringing back the memories of 2021. So yeah, that was also a highlight from the race. And so looking at the Drivers' Championship, Antonelli still of course keeps his P1 at the moment, 171 points, and he's now 40 points clear from Russell, who is now back in P2, because Hamilton was P2 before this. Now with the poor race from Ferrari, Russell, and great race from Russell. I didn't mention actually Russell because because he was doing his thing. Nothing. He had finally, let's say, a relatively clean weekend. He said himself, admitted to himself, that he still doesn't understand like fully the car and the tires and everything, but still he managed to have a great race and had a actually there was no point at any moment that anybody doubted that he would win the race. Yes, the Verstappen was coming to him at the end of the race, but I think he was still controlling the pace and yeah, as I said, at no point it seemed that his P1 was threatened. And yeah, so Hamilton in overall total driver championship now is P3. Yes, only 6 points behind Russell, but Ferrari needs to find the pace in order for them to continue to fight on. Piastri, with a relatively good race, now also is in P4, and then comes Leclerc and Norris, both of them with 79 points, and then Verstappen with 73, and then there is a bigger gap to Hadjar. So overall, I think that the Antonelli still stands strong, and with this kind of performances, he still has a good chance at the championship, but there's still a long way to go and a lot of points to be collected. And the constructors, of course, Mercedes with 1 and 3 in this race, they collected a lot of points, so 40 points for them this weekend, and now they are 98 points clear from Ferrari, with Ferrari having a relatively bad weekend, only 14 points for them on the table, so now they sit at 204, and then McLaren and Red Bull, and we can clearly see the top 4 teams who are scoring points now, with who are the leaders of the pack, and then the mid-teams or middle, let's see, Racing Bulls and Alpine. 2 points separates them. I believe Racing Bulls now surpassed Alpine in this weekend. So from my side, I guess that's it for today, for this analysis. I think it was a good on-track action, a little bit of a controversy in the qualifying, but I think it was a clean race, won by the best car with the best driver. Nothing else to mention here. Good to see that Max is also back in the fight, and it just promises us a very interesting Silverstone already next weekend with a good on-track action, and I hope that Ferrari and McLaren also can be competitive in Silverstone, so that we would have a close racing there as well. With that being said, thank you very much for watching, for listening. Stay safe, and see you after the Silverstone race. So thank you, and bye bye.